Hi, this is SlimezFarmer from KingdomCraft. This is the second video in the Redstone series that I'm just started to do. So basically this one will cover off comparators and repeaters. There'll be other blocks and Redstone components and things used in this as well, just to demonstrate them. So basically the first one I'll go with will be the Redstone Repeater. As you saw in the first video, that repeater just basically continues the signal on. It doesn't matter if the signal strength is 1 or to 15. You wouldn't bother putting a repeater in to repeat a signal obviously if it's already at 15, but there is scenarios where you would put a repeater in to continue a high signal strength. For example, if you were to do this and you wanted that to continue on, that will do so. So basically that will output a signal strength of 15 regardless. I mean, this line could be 15 long, and it's basically 1 here. This will boost it back to 15 again and continue on. So the reasons you would use these closer, like for example if you had something powering these, is if you didn't want a signal to come back. So if you wanted these to go off to different components, but there was a chance that something might be feeding that signal back as well, there might be something that's got say a redstone block in it with a piston, and there's a chance that redstone line can be powered. If you drop that, these are one way, so they basically follow the arrow. Now there's also delay on these as well. So with the delay, what I mean is if you have if we put these out, so that's just default, and then you have a 2-tick delay. So the default is 1 tick, 2 ticks, 3 ticks, and then you have a delay of 4 ticks. So that just basically extends the pulse of the repeater. How do I explain this? So basically the easiest way to do this, if I just put some lamps on, the other thing with this is that it keeps that pulse going for extra game ticks as well. So not only does it delay that going on, or the device going on after it, it also holds that device on for a little bit of extra time as well. So if I was to power this up, you can see that there's a bit of a delay between all of those going on. I guess if you want to do it another way to prove a point, you can put that one on 4, that one on 3, that one on 2, and that one on 1. So now it should be powering the opposite way. So you can see that there's a delay and the same with them going off. So the delay with these going off is the same as when they're going on, basically. If I was to put another repeater after that with another 4 ticks, then you've got 8 game ticks basically of that one going on. So that one takes a little bit now to actually power up and power off. So that's what the delay does. Now you can do things with delay, like if you wanted something to take a long time to get to the end of a project, or you wanted to count, a bit of a delay before it powers up whatever's at the end. Might be resetting some machine or contraption or whatever, you can do that. You could set all those to 4 and basically power that up, and it goes through, and it's adding quite a bit of delay. The only thing is, if you want it to be quick to turn off, then this isn't the method. There's other ways to do that, which we can show you later, but that also means that there's a long time before that will turn off as well. So they're good in some scenarios where you do need a long delay, and you want it to keep a certain thing running for a certain time as well. Then putting lots of repeaters in a series is one way to do it. There's what other things? Now repeaters can also be locked. They can hold a signal. So for example, if I was to, that's not the right block, clicking on the wrong things here. I will ignore the hole in the ground, just ignore that, that wasn't me. So basically if you power that, and then you have another line going on down here, and you've got that going to a light, for example. Now, how do I explain this one? So if you drop, so I'll leave that like that. So basically this repeater here is just standalone at the moment, but if you put another repeater into the side and give that a signal, you'll see a line turn up on here. This black line basically means that repeater is locked. So whatever state that repeater is in at the time it's locked, it will stay like that. So basically you can break this torch, you can do whatever you want, and this light will just keep going. The redstone signal will stay at whatever it was before the time this repeater was locked. So that's quite handy for quite a lot of redstone contraptions. It's something that I've forgotten about until recently. I hadn't used it in any projects for quite a long time. When I was learning about redstone, I used to use it a bit, but then I forgot about it till recently, where I needed to use it in another project again. So it is a very handy feature. You can do things like, I know this is getting a bit far ahead, but say if you had a pressure plate on here, and no, we're going to do this a different way. So you might have a block here that's got a redstone lamp on it, and then some redstone going to there, which is locking this. You might have something that's powering that, and you want to know if someone's, just say for example you want to know if someone's been into your base. You might have this hidden under your little base or whatever, and basically what will happen is if you've got an entrance that everyone thinks is your main door, they might come and step on that. It unlocks the repeater. So basically this signal here comes in, it turns off this lamp, redstone torch, drops the signal, allows that signal to go through the repeater, relocks the repeater, and then the light will come on. So this is a real simple kind of redstone project, I suppose, but that's just one way you could use them, but it gives you an idea. You can use these in games and stuff, like to make sure nothing activates if the person isn't standing on the pressure plate when they do something, or there's a whole bunch of things you can use this for. Maybe you've got a project you don't want to be on when, how would I explain this? So I'm just trying to think of a scenario where you'd use this. Maybe there's a redstone contraption over here that once it's done something, you want it to unlock another feature of a redstone contraption. So it might be sending something through a line, and you don't want this to activate until this is empty, for example. So it might send a whole bunch of products through. Once it's empty, it will turn that off. You use that comparators or observers or whatever to do that, probably, and pistons, I guess, and that would activate, turn that off, and allow the redstone signal to carry on through and turn the next part of the machine on. If you want that to unlock, then I guess, see the other thing here with that now, that's actually on. If I break this light, it doesn't matter, that continues to stay on as well. So if there's no redstone signal down here, so another way of looking at this, maybe there's a machine down here, it's sending a redstone signal, but you don't want that to activate until something's happened over here. That would drop the signal, then this one would allow that to activate. Once that's finished, maybe it does something to reactivate this, and then your machines all turn off. I don't know. There's many scenarios where you could actually use this. It is very handy. One of the things that's probably more or less it for repeaters. I mean, the most common thing that they use for is just repeating a signal. So, yeah, like I said in this first one, where you want to take the signal back up to 15 strength again. It doesn't matter if this is 1, it's still going to put out 15 and carry it on, and 15 and 15 and 15 and so on. Another thing repeaters are good for, like if you have a line of blocks basically, and you have repeaters into these blocks, and you have redstone lamps, and you have a redstone line. You power that redstone line, all of those come on. That's one way you can power devices through a block using redstone repeaters. If you were to break that one, basically only the lamp straight in front of that repeater will actually work. You can stagger those and do things so you can have different lines going to the repeaters, so you can control each one of those lamps individually. Another way to do that would be to have torches behind, and then each torch, so those torches could be on blocks. Those blocks could be, if this is off the air a bit, I could show you a bit easier, but the basics are, if you wanted to control each one of those individually, you might have something like this going on, and then this one might be there, and then that one might be a redstone lamp, something like that, and then those repeaters could be on their own individual redstone lines going off to wherever. So I'll just quickly do this. It's a bit hard to kind of do this stuff on the fly. So the basics are, that might be running off down here, that might be running off this way, and then shooting off down here to another area. You can do that, but then these can both be running like that, and you'd have that there, and then your redstone lamps. You can put a repeater and a repeater. So both of those are on currently. If you wanted them to have them off, if we repeat this signal up again, the easiest way to do this, you can do that basically, and then just continue that on again. So these would be more or less staggering the lights really. So that's more or less it there. You put the repeaters basically into the back of those blocks again. So now that's powering these two lights. If I was to put a torch on that one, so that basically, because another thing with torches is that they don't go, if you put them directly on top of blocks, they only go up. They don't power anything beside, unless you put redstone lines beside them. So, well, actually, that's not quite true. If you put a repeater or an observer or something like that in front of a torch, it'll power it up. Likewise, basically with anything like that, but that doesn't pass through into solid blocks or anything, is what I'm sort of getting at. So repeater can, the basics of this circuit is that just carries along, gets to the repeater, passes into the block gets powered up, it turns off that lamp in turn was powering this repeater, which goes to this block which was powering that lamp, but now that powers off, allowing no power going to this block, which then allows this torch to turn on, powering this repeater through the block and powering this. So as you remember in the last one, a block powered from redstone, whether it be a repeater or whatever, will only power blocks beside it or above it or adjacent basically to that block. So I mean, I can do that, and that's pretty much it. So and then again this side, it's the same scenario. These don't interact with each other because they're staggered. You can, I'll show you something else in a minute, but the only reason I did it this way is just so I could get the redstone separated a bit easier. So again, if I do that, that just turns that one off and turns that one on. You can see what's happening there when I do that. So it's just reversing these torches and allowing the redstone signal to go through to the repeaters. So I can have that one on and that one off and that one on in reverse basically. So just with that, now what's another, just trying to think of another example. So what I was saying with repeaters, it's similar to the redstone lines. So like if you're powering a block, then that block will power everything alongside it, but it doesn't pass through to another block. If you power the lamp, you can have lamps going off all directions on that. 3 lamps in a row. That's pretty much it. Nothing else. That's another thing. Torches. I showed you here with torches how to go up in a line. You can do other things with redstone and redstone torches with getting down and up to different levels in your project. So basically you can go like that, and then maybe just simply have a redstone torch on top of it, then that redstone torch, and so on and so on and so on, and just keep on going up pretty much as far as you want. The only problem with this is a 1 tick delay between each of these torches going on and off. So if, for example, at the top here I might have redstone torch, might be a redstone device on it. In this case I just put a redstone lamp. There'll be quite a delay before that actually goes on. It's almost like putting the repeater on a delay, so it's not the fastest way. This method here is much faster for getting a redstone signal. Redstone is always the quickest method. I mean, that's on before I even get a chance to look up, whereas that other one, just even with 4 lamps going up, it's quite slow. So that's just something to keep in account. If you need a project to be quite quick, then lamps isn't really the best way to get the signal up. Getting a signal down, one good thing with redstone lamps is if you're in a tight spot, you might be building a project between multiple levels and you're just sort of digging a tunnel. Redstone lamps are a good way to get the signal down, along with repeaters. There's lots of ways to do it, but basically you might have something like this. So you've just dug along and you're making a machine in the side of a hill or something, and you want that signal to well, how am I going to get that down the bottom? Well, basically you just put a block in front of that, you put a redstone torch on that, and again this comes to the same principle as before. If you've got a redstone signal and you want that redstone signal to be on down the bottom, you've got to make sure you've got a torch at the bottom of this that's going to be powered on. So for that, if you're carving this in the side of a hill or whatever, you can go down 2 blocks with a redstone torch, and you can put another one there like that, and then you might have one here, and then you might do the same. So you might come out and then put redstone and a redstone torch. So because that redstone torch will power this, which will turn that off, which will power, and so on and so on, all the way down the step. So they'll do the opposite again, but there's still a delay of a tick between each redstone torch turning on and off, so it's still a I mean, if that doesn't matter for the project, then it's a method of getting down. A lot of this method uses probably more. Oh, you can do this differently as well. Like for example, actually, I'll just finish this off so you can see it working before I carry on. And I'll just come out the side here and throw a redstone lamp on there so you can see it. So basically at the moment that's in reverse, so I turn that off and there's a little bit of a delay, and then that one's back on. So do that and that turns off. So it's reasonably quick getting down there, but it's only 3 lamps or torches. So you go along here and you're like, oh, I want that to actually be doing the same as what that top one is. You need another torch to be reversing that. So again, you just go along. That torch can power redstone lamp or piston, whatever you want. Do that and it's basically the same. Now there's different scenarios with redstone. There's people that say that the glow can actually lag the game, so you need to light things up or cover them. So if you're using hundreds of torches and lots of glowing redstone and everything else, then it might actually lag out your device or your game. You can counteract that a little bit just by maybe using glowstones or sea lanterns or whatever, just to light up the area or cover it over or whatever. But I don't have too much problem with it, but yeah, some people, different devices, different things. Now another way to get down is you can do the same thing, basically like that. I'll just do another one beside. So if you're running something at the top here and you're a fair way away, all the same principles come into effect. You can go 15 blocks with redstone. I'm not sure if that's 15, but it must be pretty close. Getting to the end here, it's getting a bit weak. I can't go any further, so you just throw a block at the end, chuck a repeater, boost the signal back up, and remember that block is good to go any direction. So you can just go underneath that block. So the same thing. So the repeater goes into this, and then you can carry on. So you might make a little dig yourself a wee set of stairs down, whatever. There's a million different ways to get redstone signal down to where you need it to go. So that's basically that, and that should be enough to get to the bottom, and that's a much quicker way than using lots of torches as well, especially if the project's needing a fairly quick response time. Like you don't want too much delay in the project. Sometimes the difference in delay in a project can mean it falling apart and breaking and bits flying off everywhere, and it can be quite frustrating when you've just spent hours making a project and next thing a piston's getting chucked away somewhere by another block, like a slime block or something. So that's basically just sending that signal down. Same method. So redstone line powering that block, that in turn powers this. You might have other areas in the project you want some redstone as well, so you could maybe put a repeater here and continue that redstone line out this way. If it's not going far, then you don't need a repeater there. You can just simply have that just straight into that block because it's powered. So this has 15 and 14, 13, 12 and so on and so on, so you can carry that on for 15 as well. You might want that going, I mean, you can put redstone out every direction you like from this. You can have redstone on top of it. I mean, it doesn't really matter. From that you may even go, oh, you want to go down and you want to have some torches taking it up a few levels as well. You do that, have a torch there, do that, and separate redstone line, and carry that along. Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of trying to figure out what you need. The only reason you would need a repeater here is if you didn't want the signal to go back down and power things up. So you might have something down here that potentially could put redstone signal back into there, like I don't know what, there's plenty of projects I've had where I've accidentally put redstone signal back down a line and wondered why everything's powering up again. So the basics are, if that was there, that repeater stops the signal from going back into the circuit. If I didn't do that, and there's something, another part of the project was actually able to put redstone signal back down, and I just had that as a redstone line, then you get problems that you take a while to figure out again, especially if this is hidden redstone underground or covered in blocks or whatever. It gets quite complicated. So yeah, best thing to do again is when you're building the project, just double check everything, make sure that there isn't redstone that's going down, and just use a repeater coming out of there if it can use it, you know, if the delay isn't going to matter. But that's the safest way. So repeaters basically repeat signal, boost it back up to 15. They allow you to delay, they allow you to lock projects as well. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for them. Another one which is very handy is the Comparator. I might actually do that in another video because there's quite a bit on those. So yeah, I'll just do that in the next video. That's probably the easiest way, because comparators, there's quite a bit to them, and if I separate the videos, you don't need to watch through the whole thing to learn about that specific product or redstone device, I should say. Yeah, alright, well, I'll leave it at that. Yeah, good luck. Got any questions, just ask, and I will start the next video. Cheers.